You're locked on to Generation Nation on LRS102.com. I am the generator, Yates, here with you, and I'm so excited today as I feature musicians. I've got Lauren Ide up in my studio. How are you doing, Lauren?
I'm doing so good.
Awesome. Thank you for coming into this show and saying yes.
Oh my God, it's so cozy in here.
Isn't it?
It really
I know.
is.
Everybody always says we need lighting in the booth.
Yeah.
I was thinking like a black light or like red lighting, you know.
Yes.
You had to go with the ambiance.
Get that vibe going, for sure.
You know I love a vibe.
It's true. You got one going.
Yeah, exactly. So, Lauren, I just want to talk to you a little bit. You know, obviously, I feature musicians, I feature artists, I feature all kinds of cool people up in this studio. I get to know people a little bit more, which was cool. I know you've been playing around town for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've been playing now for, 4 years.
Yeah,
playing
still.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It seems like every night you're somewhere. Last night you were somewhere.
Yeah, I played really late. I ended up playing till like 3:30. I texted you like 4 a.m. I was like, I'm really sorry.
And I didn't see it until I woke up.
Well, yeah.
I'm a night owl, but I'm not that much of a night owl.
Oh my gosh, me neither normally. People were just like ready to go last night. Yeah, I played at Diamond Pub and Billiards in St. Matthews, and it gets so rowdy there on a Tuesday.
Yeah, on a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday.
Well, that St. Matthews crowd is pretty interesting.
Yeah, clubs going up on a Tuesday, for sure.
Yeah, and they're always like, I've played a lot in the St. Matthews area over the years, and it's a totally different crowd than, say, if you go to the Highlands or you go out in Prospect or River Road or even over in Jeff. It's totally different crowd.
I feel like it's like a blend of ages more in St. Matthews.
Yeah.
It's more of all ages go
I
and party together, for sure. And
I know that Saints venue is always popping.
Oh, I love Saints. Yeah, I play there every once in a while on the patio, and it's been a great time. Besides, it's been 800 degrees. But
right.
Besides that, it's been
That's
great.
why I don't play outdoor gigs in the summer. I try my best not to. Yeah.
I need to write that in my contract.
I've been doing it long enough that I was like, man, I tell you what, summer gigs are just the worst for drummers, especially because you've got to load your equipment, and if you've got the PA on top of that or whatever. But to set up the drum set, to carry it there, to play it for 3 or 4 hours, to tear it down, take it home. I mean, that's a lot of work.
Oh my gosh,
in this heat. So I'm not getting any younger. And
none of us are.
Right. And I'm trying my best to take care of my body in these days.
Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, every drummer I know that I played summer gigs with them, they're like, I'm just going to go get that in the morning. I'm like, wow, you're very...
Right. So, Lauren, I want you to tell everybody kind of a little bit about yourself. How did you get your start in music, and what made you want to pursue music?
I started playing music. Well, I started teaching myself guitar when I lived in Iowa. That's where I'm from Madison, Iowa. Shout out.
But yeah, Iowa. How did you end up in Louisville, Kentucky?
Judy Hebner.
Oh,
my mom.
I just saw her a couple days ago.
She loves you.
I know. I love her. She's cool, man.
She is. But she moved here from Iowa, and I came here to visit her. And then I was like, what am I doing in Iowa?
Yeah.
This city is amazing.
I know.
It just really opened my eyes.
There's not much in Iowa.
No. I was there, now I'm not.
Yeah, I was going to say I've toured all through Iowa. I got to play Iowa State University. Also played, I always love to talk about this, I got to play this little spot called Pomeroy, Iowa.
Yeah.
And it's literally like population 500-600 people.
Yeah, that's like where I'm from.
Okay, well, shout out to my people if they're listening, because some of them do listen from Iowa.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but anyway, we pull up, I was touring with Kelly Ritchie and Freakbass, and we pull up to this spot, right, and it looked like an old abandoned town, a ghost town, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, it literally was like corn, and then boom, Pomeroy. And, I was like, we're playing here, and some guy comes to unlock some chain with a padlock, and they're like, yeah, this is where you're playing. And so I said, okay. Because we had played some pretty seedy places up in North Dakota and out in the Midwest. So when we got there, they opened up the padlock, and then it was like the most immaculate. It was all these guys who had followed the Grateful Dead, and they used to tie-dye for them.
That sounds amazing.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
That sounds so cool.
It was cool. And there was tie-dye everywhere, and you literally just sit up in the floor, and I swear by the time we started, there were hundreds and hundreds of hippies everywhere. It was amazing.
What a dream gig.
It was a dream
Randomly
gig.
in Iowa.
Yeah, it's called Byron's.
Byron, where is that in Iowa?
Pomeroy, Iowa.
Pomeroy. I wonder
I'll
how
have to
close
hook you
that
up.
is.
They're all on my Facebook and stuff like that, and I stay in touch with them, and they're always trying to get me back to play there.
I would love to see how far away that is from my hometown. My dad would love that.
Yeah.
He's a hippie at heart.
The only thing I remember about Iowa is the cable barriers nonstop, and then literally the world's largest truck stop. The signs for the world's largest.
Constantly.
That was it. That's all I remember of Iowa. That and getting to play Iowa State University.
I feel like that's all I remember about now.
I hear
There's not
you.
much going on.
Yeah. So how long have you been playing music?
I've been playing music, I guess, since I was 16. That's when I kind of taught myself. And I've been singing, ever since I was little. My mom would make me get up and sing at rodeos. We used to barrel race. We were cowgirls.
I love that barrel racing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have some friends that do that too.
It's way more nerve wracking to me than anything to do with singing.
You were on a horse.
I was on a horse.
Going around barrels?
Going around barrels as fast as I can.
Wow.
I fell off a lot.
Did you have like the special boots and all that stuff?
Oh man, I had everything.
The rider boots are the best.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I miss that. That's what I meant. I miss horses. I love them.
Yeah.
Everything else, I'm like, oh, it's so much
You're in the
hard work.
right state for that.
You know what? That's what
horses.
I thought.
Yeah.
I moved here from Iowa, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be able to get more into horses, and it's more thoroughbred horses here.
Yeah.
And Iowa's like, we're more of the cowgirl kind of quarter horses. Mm-hmm. So I haven't even got to ride.
Oh my gosh,
since
really?
I've lived here.
Well, I'm going to have to, I've got friends who have horses, so I have to go out riding one day.
Let's do that.
Yeah, my friend would probably love that because, and a lot of them ride bareback.
Oh man, I'm not
Have you
good
ever
at
done
riding.
that?
Oh, I used to do it all the time and fall off.
Oh yeah,
immediately.
I'm terrified I won't say I'm not terrified of being on a horse, but I'm terrified of breaking a limb.
I've done it many times.
Yeah, and I don't want to do it. Knock on wood.
It's terrifying. I got ran over by a horse.
You did?
Yeah, one of the last times I ever raced, my horse was sick, so like, it's not like a car. You can borrow someone's car. I borrowed someone's horse.
Yeah.
To do a race.
Yeah.
It went awry. I did it. It was great. I had a good time, and then at the end of the barrel racing, I just fell off the horse, and I was fine. And I went to get up, and then the horse got scared.
Oh no!
Of all the people rushing towards it and ran me over.
Oh my gosh! And did you break anything?
Yeah, I broke my arm, my wrist,
I'm so sorry.
my hand, and all my fingers, except my thumb. It was good.
And how old were you when this happened?
Man, I guess I was 14.
Okay,
yeah,
wow.
14.
And you're now healed and you can play guitar?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, wow.
It all broke, but it was like really clean breaks. I don't know.
Man, you are lucky.
I know. It kicked me
lucky.
in the head, so I was a little concussed, but I was like, man, if I got out of there with that, because I've seen
no
some terrible
brain
things.
damage, no nothing.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
Just the arm injury.
Wow. Well, man, crazy stories. See, this is why I love this show. You can talk all about your past experience with the horses and getting beat up. Yeah, I was going to say, Kentucky is obviously known for their horses.
Yeah.
Some of those horses down in Georgetown and Lexington, I don't know if you've seen those farms before, but...
Oh, I've driven by some. I haven't even got to go to one.
Some of those horses have houses bigger than I'll ever have.
I believe
they're multi-million-dollar barns. They treat their horses better than their homeless.
That's good. That makes me happy.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, they definitely need to help their homeless down there too.
Oh,
right.
Maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more than the horse. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah. Well, I'm always trying to direct focus to the homeless because we actually have a lot of homeless problems here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And they keep just barreling their stuff over, and then they move like a block away, and then they'll come through a couple months later and barrel their stuff.
Yeah, they
through.
moved their stuff out of that tunnel downtown by the hospitals, right? They were there for a long time, and then just one day just completely cleared them out.
Now they're like a couple streets back behind us here off of Broadway.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were at least. So that's why, I like to try to give focus to that because we do have such a huge issue. And I do personally, this is just my personal believe that if every church opened its doors and let some homeless people like crash out on their pews, that it would be a better world. And isn't that what Jesus would actually do?
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
He would open his house.
Yeah, because we have tons of space in those churches, especially one like a Southeast Christian, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
That one is huge. There's so many mega churches.
There's a Starbucks in that and like 12 different parking lot entrances.
I have a little bit of a problem with mega churches, but if they open their doors to the homeless, it would kind of take that would kind of balance it out a little bit more for me.
Practice what you preach, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't want to get too much into politics because I like to keep it fun and we like to keep it about the music. And I don't know do you know anything about LRS since you're not from here?
No, I really don't.
Okay, well, I'm going to educate you.
Please do.
You're on LRS 102, The Walrus. We have been around since 1964.
Wow.
They were one of the premier rock and roll stations for Louisville, Kentucky.
I dig it.
Yeah, so if you can think back to, 64 is when the Beatles came to America. And then, I always use the same references, but when Led Zeppelin broke, when Pink Floyd broke, when all those like great rock bands, Queen, people like that broke, LRS was, instrumental in breaking their careers and playing their vinyl and, and just getting that music out to the public. So anybody here who's been around for a long time will always say, oh, yeah, man, I used to listen to LRS way back in the day, and I loved your station. And so then skip to about 10, 12 years ago, they kind of went under. And then now we're back and better than ever. And we're streaming live right from your laptop or your tablet or your smartphone right on LRS 102, the app.
Yes, I'm so happy to be involved with it.
Isn't that cool?
It's so cool.
So your peeps in Iowa can listen.
Yes, I'll share it to all my Iowa friends.
Exactly, yes.
I love it.
Yeah. So you play guitar.
I do.
Okay, and you also sing.
I do. I do both of them at the same time.
I love that. I always love a singer that plays an instrument. I really do.
I needed to. I mean, growing up, honestly, I had nothing to do in Iowa besides ride horses. So
and run through cornfields.
Yeah. YouTube came out and I was so excited. And I used YouTube to teach myself how to play guitar.
Really?
Yeah. One summer, basically. It just really came to me.
What did you learn? Like your first positions, like A and then B, or did you learn bar chords?
I had one guy who played guitar with my mom. She was in a rock band. They were amazing.
Judy was in a rock band?
She was in a rock band.
What?
She killed it. She never told you that?
No.
Oh my God.
I knew she was a music lover and we go way back, but I did not know that she played or was in a band.
She was killing it.
All right. Well, I can't wait to talk to her now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I taught myself guitar one summer, and I just really wanted to be able to accompany myself and be able to play shows by myself and
that's smart.
Get that experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also I don't have to, pay somebody else to do it sometimes.
Correct, yeah.
So money-wise, that's nice.
Yeah, I was going to say as a drummer, it's kind of hard because we play an accompaniment instrument. Usually we accompany somebody else.
Yeah.
So my whole life I've tried to deter from that, and I play a little bit of everything. I play clarinet and saxophone.
Oh, that's cool.
I also play a little rhythm guitar. I play a little piano, a little bit of everything. But drums were always like my forte.
So good.
But thank you. But I've tried to detour from that because of that exact reason. I want to be able to stand on my own without anybody else helping me. And nowadays with electronics and midis and samples and loops and all this cool things that I can add to the drum set, it can actually be done. And yesterday we had a guy up in the studio, Billy McNichol. I don't know if you know him. But,
it's a great name.
I know, right? It's a rock star name.
It really is.
Yeah. He's a drummer that graduated from U of L. He went out to L.A. He's done work with Tool. He's done work with Wu-Tang Clan, like some really cool names.
Wow.
And he does the exact same thing. He fronts his own group as just a drummer.
No
and he's
way.
the main vocalist. Yeah. How
That's
cool
badass.
is that, right?
That's
yeah.
amazing.
You got to love a drummer that sings.
100%.
Or raps or does
oh my
whatever
gosh,
we
it's
do.
always entertaining. I'm just like, it's a special treat every time I see him. Like,
I know. And the only downfall is you're kind of like stuck behind a kit. So I've tried to figure out via electronics how to get away from that kit if I wanted to, so I could come out front and be silly and be a front person.
You'd be good at that.
Yeah, I've tried it. I did it with Beverly McClellan on the road quite a bit, and every now and then with my old band, I would try the hip hoppy stuff, But I think you've got to be very open-minded because I always say this, Kentucky, you're still way, way, way behind the times. If you go out to L.A., everybody's using tracks, everybody's using electronics, everybody's doing all that stuff, and then you come here and they're like, oh, I hate that stuff. Well, you might hate it, but it's incredibly hard to figure out how to do it and how to do it well inside of music. Yeah.
So hard.
So... because of that, it can open you up, and I think you have to be open-minded to try it. And it's like having a constant metronome because a loop or a sample, if it's timed up perfectly, it loops in fours usually. So
I think it's so fun to write music sometimes with just having that. And I mean, because when I put my instrument down and I get to sing with an electronic track, it's a whole nother feeling. Then I kind of embody, you know, the weird electronic, and I love to write with it.
Yeah, me too. And in fact, that's my primary source of writing. I have a little beat machine, or several beat machines and beat makers and stuff like that, where I can program it in. But what's weird is it's laid out just like music is written. So if I want to write something in eighth notes, I click eighth notes, and then I can program, like I want my kick on the 1, the and a 2, the and a 3, you know, and then the snare on 2 and 4, you know, and just you can program it out and punch in anything you want, which is really cool.
That'd be so. I want to work with you. I want to do something.
All right, let's do it. You've got do you have a new record coming out, or you've been working on recordings?
I've been slacking. I've been getting lost and, you know, making money playing music, having a good time. And
that's good.
I have a whole original album that is written, and I'm having my single's almost done. I'm going to release one song. It's called The Weed Song. It's almost
I love
done.
that.
I'm very excited about it.
I'm curious, what's the weed song about? Is it about weeds?
Yeah. Yes, it's about weeds. Just dandelions primarily.
I love that.
But yeah, it's I actually wrote it. Wait, one second. My headphones are falling off.
Oh no.
I actually wrote it when I first moved to Louisville, and I was around all these rappers. That was like the first music I introduced him. Well, Stevie Ray's. Yeah. And then I met this whole
rappers at Stevie Ray's.
No, well, yeah, I did meet some of them. Yeah. And I just hung out with them, and they partake in you know what the weed song's about, and some ganja.
We can actually say anything we want on this station. Did you know that?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, you can. And in fact, I've got a little cuss bill.
No.
Yeah. So if you say a cuss word, here's what happens. We encourage cussing here at LRS because we cuss for a cause, and we cuss for a good cause.
No way.
Anytime you cuss, we usually have a little swear jar right here. It's not here today. I don't know. I think they donated it off to charity.
That's good.
But anytime you cuss, we put money in it, and then at the end of the month, we donate it to charity so that we cuss for a good cause. Yeah. So nobody can get mad. Yeah. And
that's fucking awesome.
Yay! Right? I know. And I also have a sound effects board, which you'll love later on, too. We can use it. We can utilize this. It's got like drum rolls and corny stuff, you know.
Ooh, what is that one? Oh, saxophone.
Yeah, like rim shots and stuff.
Oh, that one's good.
Yeah, that one's good for like a sad something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Lauren Ide, right?
Yes.
Where is the next place that people can catch you at? Just curious.
Well, actually, I mean, I'm playing somewhere tonight.
Oh,
you know, a little late notice, but I'm playing on the river. It's beautiful out tonight, guys.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah.
I'm gonna play at Buckhead's on the river.
All right.
With my boyfriend / duo partner Kevin Cummings.
Cool. Hey, Kevin. Shout out to Kevin.
Hey.
You should have brought him in here too.
Oh yeah, he's sleeping.
Oh.
He played late with me last night. I was like, you stay.
You know, I talk a lot about this on the show that if you're going to find a partner as a musician, it's incredibly hard. So you're very lucky if you have that support system
100%.
because not everybody that works a 9 to 5 really understands a musician lifestyle. If they're in a 9 to 5 and they come in and they go, oh, he's sleeping and it's 2:20, then they're like, he's lazy. They automatically think you're lazy, and it's like, well,
no,
you would be lazy too if you worked my hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We got to catch up on sleep. We do productive things, but mostly after 2:30 p.m.
Yeah, exactly. If you're up till 4, trust me, if you're up till 4 working yourself, you would be asleep at 2:20 probably. Yeah. So anyway, congrats to you on that. So Buckhead's at the river tonight. They can catch you there.
6 to 9 tonight.
6 to 9. And do you have any sort of favorite rock and roll? Because we can spin anything here, rock and roll, from 60s till current, and that branches off into punk rock, metal, progressive. There's all kinds of cool styles of.
I love some CCR.
All right, well, we'll definitely play some CCR for you later
amazing.
On. Right now, though, we've got some Go-Go's. Yes. Do you like the Go-Go's?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Me too. We had a girl on day before yesterday, who was talking about working with Jane Weedland of the Go-Go's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she was the drummer of 4 Non Blondes, if you're familiar with them. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, it's the Go-Go's. I'm Jen Yates. You're locked on to Jyneration Nation on LRS102.com. Stay tuned. We've got Lauren Ide up in the studios. The longest song ever.
Of all time.
I know. That's some CCR. I heard it through the grapevine. Not their original track, but, man, they do a great version of that song.
I love that.
I do, too. I just have always loved that song. If you listen to it, obviously it's about gossip.
Oh, yeah.
I heard it through the grapevine, right?
Yep.
Which is kind of funny because I guess back in the day, that's how you heard gossip. You were at the grapevine.
No one's texting. No one's posting on Facebook. No Snapchat.
Yeah, exactly. No Snapchat. Are you on Snapchat?
I am a hardcore Snapchatter.
Are you really?
I'm going to be honest. Yeah.
All right, cool. I got into it, and at first I didn't quite understand Snapchat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm a little bit of an older generation than the Snapchat.
You're way more tech savvy than I am. 100%.
Well, I'm definitely a techie. I always have been. Even when I was a kid, I had, my dad was kind of an audio and techie as well. So, from the first moment that we had video cameras, they had video cameras back then without sound.
Yeah.
Even though they had a cord with a little teeny tiny microphone that looked like a Bob Barker.
That's adorable.
What is that show? He's
on, Price is Right.
Price is Right. That's right. Yeah.
Come
so
on
do you remember his little microphone thing?
Of course.
Yeah. So the microphones kind of looked like that. They were little teeny tiny with a big old head topper, and and I would just play around, and I was always like taking tapes and dubbing tapes over top, and we
Did
were
you make
always
movies.
I did kind of. In fact, my dad always said he thought I would go on to make movies. Because I was so into the video when I was a kid. Yeah, it was. I always thought, though, and I think this is a great fit because I was always making radio shows when I was a kid.
No way.
Yeah, me and my sister, we would do it on cassette tape. And we would make shows, and then I would dub down like me laughing like 15 times over top of each other.
No way.
And
That's
then
so
tell
creative.
jokes and then put it behind it. And then I would make these tapes for my aunt and uncle who would take them out on the fishing boat or on the boat on Lake Cumberland. And they wore those things out. I wish I had copies of them today because I would laugh.
That would be the best thing to get your hands on.
Wouldn't it?
You would love that.
I know. The downfall about cassette tape is it breaks and ravels and then you're done for. Yeah. There's no getting it back.
I used to make homemade movies with my cousin Kara.
Uh-huh.
And you know the movie Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds?
Oh, I have an Alfred Hitchcock tattoo.
No way.
This is my first tattoo ever, yeah.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Actually, not my first. It was my second. My first was a rainbow drum set that I've got over here.
That's still great, though.
Right?
But me and my cousin, we found they had a, it was a big camera, you're setting your shoulder, and it had like the microphone thing, and it had a light. Like, we're like, oh my God, we are directors now. We're going to make a movie.
I love that.
And our idea,
kids.
our idea was a take on The Birds, but it's going to be called The Cats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
wait, now what?
The cats.
Wait, I'm just imagining cats like swooping down from the sky. That's where my head went.
Well, I lived in rural Iowa in the middle of nowhere. There's a lot of cats, a lot of feral cats.
Okay.
And my Aunt Debbie, hey Debbie, she had hundreds of cats.
Mm-hmm.
And so we used the cats in the movie like the birds, and it's
literally
ridiculous.
put the cats in the movie. Like, how did you get them to be?
You just like kitty, and then you gotta put the cat food out.
Movie.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, I have it, and every time I'm in Iowa, I'm like, hey, can we watch that? And she's like, I can't go through the pain of that awkwardness. And I was like, okay, but Kara, I need a copy of the cats.
Man, I have a funny story. I probably should not tell this on air, but I'm going to anyway.
It.
Yeah, all right, let's do it anyway. The first time I ever partook in, grass, I will say, or whatever you want to call it, was like a scene out of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Oh, no, what?
And I grew up a huge Alfred Hitchcock Presents fan.
Okay.
And I had his silhouette tattooed on me at one point because I love him. Anyway, and his birthday's coming up, August 13th. I always remember that. Are you going to
celebrate it?
I usually do, yeah.
Cool.
I love me some Alfred Hitchcock. He was one of the best directors of all time. And I love his suspense. And it's so different than what we have today because I feel like today we're so ADHD that we want to see moving things all the time.
All the time.
Where he would take one camera shot for like 15 minutes, you know what I mean? Oh. Hello. It says fraud risk. Look, it does.
No way.
The station line. Hey, I don't know if you all know, but we have a station line here at LRS that you can call and request songs on, or you can call and talk to me and Lauren. The rock line is 502-938-1964. Remember the Beatles, y'all. 502-938-1964 if you want to call in. Say hi to
us, guys.
Yeah, call in, say hi. But don't call in with our fraud request.
Yeah, don't do that. None of that,
kidding,
please.
Right? So anyway, the first time that I did that, I'm in a hot tub with one of my best friends and her boyfriend. And it was just almost dark, and about 100 foot in front of us was this big tree, and it was just out in the country, big open space, and it's almost, we can barely see images and things like that. But you could see the tree, and we kept hearing all these birds like this flocking around, up in the tree.
Flocking around.
Yeah,
if you could see your hands right now,
I
guys.
know my hands. I know I talk with my hands.
I love it.
Yeah. So and they were like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know." I'm like, what's it supposed to feel like? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm feeling anything. Whatever. Well, he goes, "Well, I'm going to go see what that is. All that noise over there by the tree." And so we're like, "You go for it, man.
Terrible
we're gonna
idea.
stay
You would die in a horror movie for sure."
Totally. We're like, we're staying right here in the hot tub, right?
Yeah.
So we watch him, and you can kind of see his silhouette go way out by the tree, and I see him like bend down and grab something and throw it into the tree.
Oh no!
And like a scene out of Alfred Hitchcock, the birds, thousands of birds come out of this tree, and they swoop down at him. And we just see him go from straight up position to straight on the ground, right?
Yeah.
And these birds are like swooping down at him and like attacking him, right? And we're just sitting there in disbelief, like, oh my gosh, is this really happening? And sure enough, eventually it kind of dies down, and he gets up and he comes over, and his hair's all crazy, and he looks all beat up, and we just started laughing and could not stop. You know what I'm
way
saying?
too high for this.
I know. I was like, whoa, what is this?
That's hilarious.
It literally was like a scene out of Alfred Hitchcock, The Birds. I love that you love Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar, so I don't want to don't quiz me, you know, but
Psycho,
I watched that movie.
Obviously Psycho. I mean, that's
seen,
such a bizarre film.
Love it.
And it went on to, Norman Bates' character has been in how many movies now? Don't play a drinking game with it.
Have you seen Bates Motel?
Yes, yes.
It.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, too. Yeah, Bates Motel.
I really, really love that show.
Yeah, I like anything a tad bit on the darker side. Almost
Me
always.
too,
I don't know why.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just appealing for some reason. I don't know why that is, but it is.
It's more interesting. I'm not bored. I don't want to see people be happy on TV. What?
Exactly.
I'm happy. I'm a happy person. I just want to see dark stuff on TV.
Ginger Moon's up in the studio.
Hey
How you
there.
doing? Hey, we just had a call in from a fraud call.
Live
on air.
What did they request?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, "What do you want to hear?" And they're like, "I don't know, something about taxes." I don't know. No, anyway. So Lauren, tell me a little bit about this Buckheads gig you've got going on tonight. When can people, when can they show up? What time?
Buckheads tonight in Jeffersonville, Indiana, right on the river. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a great view of Louisville.
Cool.
And it's 6 to 9 tonight.
That's over there. Yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about. That's a great venue.
I have so much fun every time I play there, and I didn't expect that because it's a restaurant.
Yeah.
Honestly, restaurants are not the most fun to play at.
Right.
Every time we have a great show, people sit and listen. I'm worried we're ruining their dinner, and they're just like, thank you, and it's such a good time.
Yeah, restaurant gigs, though, I think are some of the better gigs.
I like them a lot.
Yeah, the Levee up here on River Road, that's a great place to play. I mean, there's so many, and of course, Robbie Bartley plays like Jeff Ruby's and all these awesome,
I love when I get to see
the
her
restaurant
there.
scene, man, is great. Do you know Robbie?
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
Yes.
You know a little bit of everybody.
I do. Well, my mom, she really introduced me to a lot of people, and the first bar I went to when I came to Louisville was Stevie Ray's. And
that's a good one to be at.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love Stevie Ray's. I've had
That's
some
where I met
major...
you, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, do you remember? I was going to ask you, do you remember how we met? Because I always
remember exactly how we met.
You do?
Well, I remember that we met at Stevie Ray's, and you were playing, because I think I was working the door. I used to work the door because I had no friends yet.
Who was I playing with? Ma'am? My girl band?
Yeah, I think
Ma'am
so,
Overboard. Yeah. Rest in peace, Sue Riley, who just passed a couple days ago. Yeah.
So sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So we met at Stevie Ray's. You were working the door. I wonder how many years ago that's been.
Man, I guess like 6.
Did we do good at the door that night?
I think so. Yeah, it was popping.
Good. Yeah, it usually
was
is
such a
down
good
at Stevie
time.
Ray's. Yeah. We had the best story. Jeff McAllister was in here, and he was talking about he met Levon Helm, who is the drummer and singer of the band at Stevie Ray's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've had some great stories during our interviews here for concerning Stevie Ray's.
Oh my gosh, I have some great stories of Stevie Ray's too. Which I love
tell
that
us
bar.
one. What's your favorite? Let's ask you this: do you have any have you had a nightmare gig yet?
A nightmare gig, like anywhere?
Yeah, just like something, everything completely went wrong.
Oh, so many.
Yeah. What's your favorite one? Do you have a bizarre one?
Well, recently I played in the Ozarks for a wedding, and it was really beautiful there. I played at this resort, and we get there, we're having a great time, and then we're like, we're gonna set up all of our equipment, early so we can party and drink by the pool all day.
Yeah.
So we set it up, and we go to play, and we're kind of buzzed. It's okay, it'll be great. And then no one's there. We're like, it's supposed to be this giant wedding party, and not one person's there. We're like, man, this person's really unpopular. What is going on?
Wait, they paid you to play to nobody?
No, just nobody was there. So we're like, what's going on? And the bride is like, where are you? And I was like,
oh no, were you at the wrong location?
I was at the wrong location, but it was her fault.
Wait, I need a, what's my...
effect.
There's my sound effect.
That's perfect. So then we had to break down all of our equipment, and we had to like drive this go-kart with all of our equipment, like holding onto it. And we drive in, we're like, we'll just set it up real quick. And we walk in, and the whole party is just silent. Crickets, because there's no music, and they all just stand there and watch us put it like super fancy, like I'm in like a dress, like
bougie. I call that
trying
bougie.
to put a speaker up, and I'm like, hi, and it was this girl I went to high school with. I was like, I just wanted to impress her. She used to make fun of me in high school. I was like, I'm gonna sound great, and then
that happens.
And then the womp womp womp. Yeah.
Womp womp. One more time. I love my sound effects, don't you?
It's beautiful, but it ended up being a great time. If she's listening, it was a great wedding. It was a good time.
Well, that's an interesting. I've had a few disasters myself. One of my the craziest was on the Glassworks building. I don't know if you were here when that was around, but there was a building downtown called Glassworks where they made all this glass stuff and
I feel
and all
like
this
I
stuff.
remember seeing a sign that said that.
Yeah,
I never went
there. And
there.
it's a big, high, tall building, and used to bands could play on top of the building, like literally outside, overlooking all of Louisville. And we were set to play that night for this big event, and we had aerialists coming in that were going to set up all this stuff and like fly around while we played. And it was pretty much a tornado that day. It was like thunderstorm. So then they're like, we have to move you inside. So we're like, okay. So we go down, and I just remember the people from the aerialists, they were being there, and they're looking up, and they're like, okay, we can rig it this way and that way and this way from the ceiling. And I kept going, is that going to be safe? Because it didn't seem safe. No. And they were like, oh, yeah, we're pros. We do this all the time. Da, da, da. Mm-hmm. Well, I was in a 7-piece all-female band at the time. So literally when I was playing, I was encompassed by chicks, like all the way around me. I couldn't even see people half the time,
Yeah.
And we had like the horn section and the whole nine, and a lot of people showed up. We're doing the whole thing, and it was beautiful up until, disaster happened. But it was awesome. They would do these aerial things while we were playing our songs.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
And then we're playing one, and I didn't see what happened, but we're in the middle of the song, and the band turns to me, and they're like, stop playing. And I'm like, why? What's going on? Okay. And they're like, the girl just fell. Evidently, there was a girl hanging straight up and down from the ceiling, from the rigging, about 6 feet from the ground. And she fell straight on her head. Yeah. And you talk about sucking energy out of the room.
Were you in the middle of a song?
Yeah. We were in the middle of a song. We were in the middle of our set.
I love how I'm more concerned about the song. Is she okay?
Yes, she's fine now.
Okay, good.
No, she's fine. I know, right? Where's my laughter? There it is. Wait. There's my laughter. No, but she is totally fine. It sucked the energy out of the room, and then the band was like, gosh, what do we do? Because, after that, the ambulance had to come take her out on a stretcher. Nobody knew if she was, paralyzed or not because she wasn't moving. It was very awkward. So we decide we're not going to finish our set.
Damn, you should have played Free Fallin'.
No, wait, it gets better. Wait, it gets better. You're going to love this because it's along the same lines.
Oh.
So we're like, okay, we're not going to finish the gig. We're going to let everybody go because it just got awkward. But let's finish with one pretty song, right?
Yeah.
And the lead singer turns and goes, let's do Cyndi Lauper, Time After Time. And I was like, oh, I love that. Except for in the middle of the lyrics, it's if you fall, I will catch you. I'll be waiting.
Oh my God,
time after time. Literally over and over and over again. So we're playing it, and the lead singer is looking at me like, maybe not the best song to pick. No. And I was like, yeah, no.
Did anybody notice?
I don't know. The whole thing was awkward. That was probably my most disastrous gig ever. Yeah. So I hope you don't have to do any of those.
Oh, I know there's going to be more.
Yeah, there's always awkward ones.
You know what I like, but I like to tell stories. I'm definitely like, something bad happens, I just use. I'm like, this would be a funny story to tell somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I tell you what. Yeah, I mean, there's been so many over the years, and I love that you're from Iowa because I've had some of the craziest gigs there too.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't had any crazy gigs in Iowa.
Yeah,
like
because you didn't really,
crazy.
right? You didn't really start playing until you got to Kentucky, right?
Yeah, I mean, I played a couple little tiny open mics in my hometown, and I sang at rodeos, and I butchered the national anthem. I didn't mess up the lyrics. It just, I'm real bad under pressure. Well, the national anthem, it's the most nerve-wracking song
That's
ever
what
in the
I
world
hear,
to sing.
and I hear you have to start it really low because you cannot start too high, or you can't hit the notes by the time. Yeah. Well, we saw what they did with Roseanne Barr. You're probably too young to remember that, but
no,
it was bad.
I'm a huge comedy fan, so I know all about Roseanne Barr. Did you know that she's very crazy because she got in a car accident when she was younger?
And I didn't know that.
Yeah,
she's crazy.
She got funnier after the accident, but it came with her craziness.
That's wild. Who knew? Now she's like, she's got some nut farm over in Hawaii or something.
That's are you saying like a psychiatric hospital?
No. No, I'm talking.
That's rude.
She literally like grows pistachios and stuff, like
that's
almonds or whatever
very
kind of
random.
nuts she has. Yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah, she's so nuts, so it's perfect.
It's perfect. Yeah, exactly. So Lauren, what else do you have coming up for us other than tonight's gig? I know because you literally play almost every night through the week. You were playing last night until 4 because you texted me at 4 a.m.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't wake you. You said you didn't. No, yeah, that's good.
I honestly, I keep my phone on silent because I figure if it's a disaster, I'll find out when I wake up. I want to at least get my sleep. You know what I mean? And I don't have any family. If I had a kid, it might be different, but I don't have kids. So it's like, I'm going to sleep through my thing. And, if something happens, I'll find out in the morning. Yeah. That's just kind of how I roll.
I think the only I'm playing a lot of out of town gigs this summer, which is fun.
Okay, tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm playing in Charleston coming up. I'm really excited about that.
Indiana?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, me and Kevin, we just
decided to go out on the road.
Yeah, we just wanted to have a new place and get some new connections, and everyone says how great Charleston is.
Oh, I used to date a girl from Charleston.
Oh, yeah?
She graduated from the College of Charleston. We're still good friends. Shout out to Gretchen in Nashville if she's listening. Yeah, Charleston is gorgeous. I love that area.
Never been. I'm very excited. We're playing. We just picked really beautiful places. Yeah. And we contacted them, and we get to play there. And I'm like, it's like, I want to eat here for dinner. I'm like, I want to play music here tonight.
Right
and it just so happened to work out, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I love that.
Right
that's
on the ocean.
a great. Yeah. Oh, it's so gorgeous there. Yeah. Where else?
I'm playing. I have O'Shea's in the Highlands, which is
we love
super
O'Shea's.
fun gig.
Skinny J is sitting right here. His son is in a band called Anemic Royalty.
It's a great name.
And it is a great name, I know. And they're out on tour right now. Next week they go out on tour.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and they're like a rock band.
Yeah.
But yeah, and there's a sticker.
Oh, great!
Yeah. Hey, I want one of those for my drum box.
Yes.
Yay! Yeah, we love stickers.
I have put them on my electric guitar case.
Yeah,
they're my favorite.
I've got a drum box that I carry around, and it's stickered up from years of just
so
travels.
fun.
And yeah, I love to sticker up stuff.
It's
Who doesn't?
a cheap way to collect things.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, Skinny J was just showing me we've got this awesome LRS like skateboard up in the.
I used to skateboard. I want to show off my moves.
Yeah, it is old school. Yeah, it's even got rifle. I used to play with those guys. Man, I know most of those. Yeah, I love that. By the way, Skinny J, you'll love this. And this goes back to LRS, of course. It always goes back to LRS. I was wearing my LRS t-shirt today, and I went to get coffee, and some guy said, hey, he's like, that LRS shirt you got on, are they still around? That's what he said to me. And I said, yeah, actually, I've got a show. I'm getting ready to go in. I just stopped to get coffee. And he was like, oh, man. He goes, so what's the number? And I was telling him about the streaming, and I showed him how to get the app. So he got the app. He was all excited. He was going to listen up. So if you're listening, sir, hi. Nice to meet you at the coffee shop today. Yeah. No, but, I was educating Laura on LRS and the history. We go back to 1964. We're reviving it. It seems like everybody's super pumped. People message me every day from all over. My aunt was listening from Oklahoma yesterday. My mom was listening from Bowling Green. People message me from New York City or LA or San Francisco. Somebody actually yesterday sent me a private message and said, hey, I'm from Ireland. Overseas, and they're like, wow. I just got hip to your show because of one of your guests, and they're like, I'll be listening. I love your show, and I was like, cool, man. Yeah, that's. Yeah, we got some. Yeah,
nice.
And he was telling me we got people from Japan listening. Like, it's so cool that people can now they don't have to just get in a car and turn on a radio station, because that's just a local. Within a local perimeter, but now we're open up to the world. Literally, if you're in Antarctica, you could be listening.
And people are listening to more things like that. I think because of podcasts. I think podcasts have really just opened it up to even listening to a radio show online
Do
too.
you listen to podcasts?
I listen to podcasts. I love podcasts.
What are your favorites? Give me them.
My favorite podcast, I really enjoy, listening to crime podcasts.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about we love the dark side of things.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
then, when I'm just like cooking or something, I love Joe Rogan, of course. He's one of my favorites.
Cooking podcast?
No.
Is that what you said?
No.
Oh, I missed.
Oh, no, I've never tried one, but I would.
I was like,
cooking.
that's a cooking podcast.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, what did you say? What did
No,
I
a
miss?
crime podcast.
Crime podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then Joe Rogan, I listen to a lot to try to get.
Did you ever listen to that Serial?
Serial, I think, is the best podcast ever made right now.
I'm kind of a geek. I like to listen to astrology podcasts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's this professor up in New York, NYU. Her name is Ann Orderly, and she has a weekly weather podcast, and she talks about where the planets are and how that affects what goes on here on Earth and all this stuff. And she's always spot on. She does it a week ahead of the week.
Really?
Yes. So on Sunday you can tune in and listen to her hour podcast or 30-minute podcast. Can't remember.
Oh.
But she literally is like, watch out on Tuesday because that's going to be the crazy day, or and it's always spot on. The day that she told me it was going to be nuts, I come down here and like the whole system and done all kinds of weird things.
Yeah.
And if you watch what happens in your life and compare and contrast, it's pretty fascinating.
I'm such a huge skeptic with astrology.
Well, me too.
So I would
but
love
I
to listen to that and then see, because
yeah.
With
there's a lot of fakes out there too.
Yeah, there's so many, and I feel like if it actually talked about planets and everything, I'd be way more interested to actually know how it all works. And maybe it would make more sense to
Right,
me.
exactly. And we're totally off topic of music, but I love that stuff because if you pay attention, obviously the moon can affect the ocean tides.
I believe in that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's this gravitational pull, and that's technically kind of what it's all about. It's not like, ooh, we can predict your life.
Yeah.
It's all about, Jupiter is the planet of luck, and that, when that planet is conjunct with something, then it means something else. So she'll tell you things like that, and it's always fascinating to me.
Sounds cool. I definitely believe people are way crazier being in the bar scene when there's a full moon out.
Absolutely.
Oh, lordy.
Yeah. And we've been dealing with that. Last week we had a full moon. Was it last weekend? Full moon, or past couple of weeks ago, and there was all kinds of like retrogrades going on.
I'm trying to think of my last Friday night. What happened there? I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. If you pay attention, you'll notice that. So, Lauren, it's so awesome to have you up in the studio. I love you being here. Yeah, it's super cool, right? And we're just gonna keep it rocking. We've got all kinds of cool stuff coming up, and I do want to remind everybody that Thursday, August 1st, LRS 102 will be broadcasting live from the Kentucky Fair and Expo Center. That's at the annual Street Ride National, starting at 6 a.m. with Skinny J's New Rock Morning Show. It will continue all day with Midday McGill, Jyneration, what up, and the Hippie Head Spotlight. Come check out the cool custom cars and stop by LRS102.com booth and just say, I am the Walrus. That's all you got to do. Come up and say, I am the Walrus, and you could score free LRS Fest tickets while they last. You're locked on to Jyneration Nation, LRS102.com. Here's some Aerosmith. That's the Black Crowes with Hard to Handle. You're locked on to Jyneration Nation, LRS102.com. I am here with, we're not going to do 49 Blondes. We did that the other day. Actually, we had the drummer of 49 Blondes on
a great song.
A couple days ago. I know, I bet you play that. Do you?
I have to.
I was going to say, you know what's funny? And I love that you said that because Dawn Richardson is a good friend of mine. She's the drummer on that track, and she's out in San Francisco.
So cool.
So a couple days ago, she called in. I think it was on Friday, maybe Thursday of last week. And I was talking to her about recording that track. And, I would think for any musician to be on a track like that is pretty historic.
Wow.
It's pretty amazing, right?
It's one of the best songs
Yeah,
ever.
and she said, it's had a lot of staying power, and she's like, I'm just still blown away that that's the track that, everybody still sings. And, and then I was telling her, I said, I don't know what a standard is considered on the San Francisco Bay Coast, but here in Louisville, Kentucky, standards are like Mustang Sally. Play that funky music. They're just ones that always go over, and I told her that I have felt for the past at least 15 years that What's Up, since it came out, is a standard now.
It really is
It
standard.
is.
I agree.
Because how many times do you get requests for that?
I mean, like 3 times a night.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. And I was telling her, Bev and I used to play it. I've played it in every female cover band I've ever been in.
And Landslide.
Yeah, Landslide's another one. Yes, exactly. Those are just 2 that they're just time stamped in history. And if you're a musician doing covers, you cannot get away from that song. And
I'm okay with it because those are actually, I'm sick of hearing Wagon Wheel.
Yeah.
And Freebird.
Right.
Freebird's one of the best songs, ever. Best guitar solos ever heard.
Right.
I'm not gonna be able to play that.
Right, exactly. I've been in bands where they refused to do Freebird, and I've been in bands that wanted to do Freebird.
Yeah, well, if you can do it well, do it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I love to actually play it because I love to play any Leonard Skinner. I grew up on that stuff, all the southern rocky kind of bands like the CCRs. Stuff like that. I always loved that kind of music.
Me too.
And for a drummer, Freebird kind of frees you up. It's got a lot of different parts in it. Seems like it goes to cut time at the end. I can't remember.
It goes so hard at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and then me and my Bev, we had hats, matching hats that said Freebird.
No way.
They were trucker hats. Mine was black with white Freebird, and hers was a white trucker hat with black Freebird. And it just had a big old bird flying on it. So, yeah, I love Freebird. It always,
one of my favorite things to do, if it's a good bar. People are getting drunk is when some, drunk guy yells Freebird 4 times in a row, and then you just flip them off and you say, this one's on the house.
I love that. Wait, where's my rim shot
That's Kevin Cummings taught me that one.
There it is. We love our sound effects here. It's funny. Yeah, that's funny. Out at Prospect or out in Prospect at Bistro 42, we'll give a shout out to your mom,
Bistro.
Judy Huber. We love you. Yeah,
we love you.
One of my favorite nights was I was playing out there, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but I did a drum solo, and then at the end of the set, I took a break. I was going to the parking lot to my car, and this random guy walks up to me, and he handed me $100 bill.
Oh, wow.
And he goes, I want to give you this for your solo. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's Prospect people for you.
I know. Yeah. I was like, I need to play Prospect more often.
For sure.
I'm getting $100 tips for my drum solos.
Yes, I played the boat club there, and just, everyone's very well off there and very nice and love live music. So they take care of you there.
Yeah, you got to love Louisville, right? I mean, how long have you been here now?
I guess I've been here, 6-7 years.
Yeah. And what do you think of Louisville, Kentucky and the musicianship?
I adore it. I love, I feel like a lot of musicians support other musicians, and we all kind of try to help each other out.
Yeah.
And of course, just like any kind of group of people, there's drama. Yeah. And musicians love drama.
Well, I always feel like people always say, "Oh, you're so dramatic," and I'm just like, "No, I'm very emotional."
That is the difference.
Artists are very emotional. We're very touchy about certain things. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily dramatic, but I do feel like I have a little bit of theatrical flair. I've always loved theater. And performance, and and I think that just kind of goes along with the territory.
A lot of musicians. Biggest personalities I know.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. And I've met a lot of even bigger personalities because radio and TV, you have to have a personality to be in those creative.
It's in the name. I'm a TV personality.
Exactly. TV personality.
Radio
that's what you are. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So, on-air personality, that's what they call the job. You know what I mean?
You're real good at it. You have a good one.
Thank you.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
that. I've been doing radio a long time. I actually started when I was 16 in radio, and I worked my way up, and then I did a little stint in television for Warner Brothers affiliate, and then that brought me to Louisville.
Yeah.
And then I went back into radio after my TV stint, did it all up until LRS went under the first go round.
Yeah.
And then kind of left. I was doing political news, hated politics. Although I will say I did get to cover like the Kentucky Derby, and I got to cover a lot of really cool events too. But I was in it for the music. I was not in radio for anything but that. So the fact that, I was covering politics, I kind of just said bye. And at 30 years old, I realized money to me was not as important as my free time.
Oh, yeah.
And
I agree with that.
I left and pursued music from that point on, which I've done pretty good at. I've done pretty good.
Yeah.
I've gotten in books and in films coming out and all kinds of cool things, talking about women drummers and teaching the kids. I love to do that,
That's so cool.
Yeah,
and you're so right that, that money is not worth as much as people think it is.
It's
when
not.
it comes to your free time. And if that's what makes you happy, you know, some people, they want to just sit in their office, work every day, and make that money. But I like the kind of leisurely lifestyle, being a musician.
Me too.
I enjoy it.
Sleeping
I love
doing
my
what
free
you do.
time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's actually not as bad as some people think. I mean, it actually is a nice, fulfilling little life that you lead, you know, when you're a musician. There's a lot of negatives that go with it.
I got a lot of great experiences.
Exactly.
Because of music and where I get to go because of it. And
you know, I've pretty much traveled the country and Canada playing music myself, and I feel like I would not have traded those experiences for sitting in a cubicle working a 9-to-5 mundane job that I hated any day of the week. And I'm very proud of everything that I've done and accomplished in the music scene. And I feel like, you know, I was never, ever meant to be a 9-to-5er.
No.
It just was not in my blood, you know. I kind of have always been a rebel. I kind of always wanted to do what I wanted to do. And I do think that decision at age 30, where I was like, my time is more important than the money.
Yeah.
You know, and I was scared to death because since then I have not had a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? I never had a regular paycheck.
Yeah.
I mean,
exactly.
I was hustling, you know, I was teaching kids, playing music, doing theater, like doing all these jobs, you know, just whatever I could take to sustain a living. But I never struggled, really. Looking back, I was like, you know, I just ask a higher power to provide, and I feel like it does. You know? And the money ended up doubling and tripling. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Which was kind of funny. So sometimes I feel like you do have to just take that gut chance and follow your dream. You know what 100%. I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
You're not going to regret following what you've always wanted to do.
Exactly. And just like when you travel to South Carolina, you're not going to ever regret that, probably.
Oh, no. Know? I mean, I'm going to hopefully make great connections. And
and you will. I guarantee you will. Yeah, and you get down there, and that's kind of the name of the game of the music business is, you know, networking, also collaborating with different artists.
100%.
Yeah, and I've always kind of been at the forefront of that. I really like the collaboration of different artists and different people. I don't like to, it gets stale after a while when you play
100%.
with, you know, consistent. I like to keep it changed up, and I like to, if you're a creative artist, which you are, it sounds like as well, because you write some of your own stuff.
I love writing. I wish I could, I mean, I would love to collaborate more with writing. Yeah. I feel like working with other people, you get, I kind of like mimic, you know, the person I'm with. I'm a good chameleon. So I feel like when I'm playing with somebody who has what they're thinking and their writing skills, it kind of opens up my way of writing like that, and it can just create something that you're like, oh my God, I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and two, it's just like anything else. Writing, you've got to keep doing it to get better at it.
100%. Yeah. You stop, and then it's like, got to get back on. Try to. I'm in a writer's block right now.
Yeah. Well, you've got to also as a creative artist myself, I try to grab inspiration from almost just regular anything going on in my day. You know what I mean? And I try to write my life, which is interesting, which has probably killed my personal life. I did write Bougie about an ex-girlfriend.
I've written about some ex-boyfriends.
Kentucky Simple about a girl who broke my heart, you know. Yeah, but it's funny because when I first meet people, they're like, "Oh, you like write songs?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do. I've put out a lot of records in my day." And they're like, "Oh, I want a song written about me." And I'm like, "Don't tell me that. You know you don't."
Oh no!
Because the song never comes when I'm happy.
Exactly.
It always comes after the relationship breakup, and then I'm saying what I wanted to say. You know what I mean? So I was like, "Trust me, you don't want a song."
Oh my gosh, I mean. Every time I've written a song, it's definitely been after some, you know, emotional experience, and I've been so happy.
Right.
So I'm like,
I've talked a lot about this on the show to other artists. Is we typically as human beings don't enjoy artists when they're happy. We like our tormented artists, and we really do. And if you look back in the 90s, I really realized this in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
In the 90s, it was all this like female angst music coming out, you know, like Alanis Morissette. We were
repressed for a while.
Well, yeah, we've been repressed most of our lives.
All of it.
We're lucky to be living in the generation that we are.
Exactly.
Although I will say, if I could trade it, I would definitely live through the late 60s into the 70s because it'd
be a great time. You would fit in there perfect.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe not my sexuality. sexuality, but everything else would fit in there
well, you would fit. Yeah, that's very true. They wouldn't like that.
They might hang me or something.
You're like,
I'm totally
just for like
joking.
Woodstock. Just go back for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
They'll be
the
okay
hippies
there.
would love me.
They would
still
love
do. Yeah. And I try to take my image a little bit from hippies because I love that whole
Same.
hippie look and the
Me
glasses and the headbands and the just the free love and free spirit and all that kind of cool stuff. Wait, what was I saying? I lost it.
Oh, what were you saying?
Oh, about the creative artist and writing. Yeah. I have found that I did take a couple little classes. Actually, a friend of mine that I was doing a record with, it was called "Welcome to the Queen." It was my first electronic record. I did it right before the Hillbilly Swagger project, and so she was in this writing class where basically you got a prompt a day, and you had a couple weeks to actually record and produce a song.
Oh, wow.
So you would get a prompt that says, you must write about this, or and then they would give you a musical prompt, and it must include it must be in the key of F sharp or something crazy. And then you had a couple weeks to actually put together something and throw it out there to all these other people. And then it was fun to listen to what they had come up with based on the prompt and stuff like that. So doing that, I did it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, and I mean, it made you write and it was something like that that was fascinating to me.
Something like that, that'd be great.
Yeah, and talking about the female angst artist, Alanis Morissette, when she put out Jagged Little Pill, there were all these females at that time period that were just like rah, in your face, like Lita Ford, and I can't remember all of them, but I love Tracy Bonham's Mother. Poe was coming out around that time. Garbage was out. Like a bunch of angsty females. Well, we love them when they're pissed off.
Really do.
Is pissed off? I don't even know if that's a cuss word.
Well, could be. Depends on how conservative you are.
I don't know. Correct. Yeah, I'm not at all.
Me neither.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we love our artists when they're tormented, but as soon as they have children and get happy and write songs, I hate those.
Well, I don't even like the way they I want to support them, but I'm like I like the angst too.
I know, who doesn't? Because we all want to rock out in our car and crank it up and be you know what I mean? It's just there's something about the energy of rock and roll and angst, and I love to be able to channel that. You know what I mean?
I love taking my anger. I definitely wrote some songs in high school, and just thinking, oh, this is a good song, and then playing it at a school thing, and then realizing it was about my parents, and they're sitting in the audience oh, I didn't know she was gonna write this.
Yeah, well,
but she appreciated my creativity. She never once was like, oh, I don't like you sang a song about me. She was like, that is a great song. I'm like, thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's very supportive.
Yeah, the one thing I love all art, I always have. But the one cool thing about art is that we can do things in our art that we cannot do in our normal daily basis.
Yeah.
We can, and I use this reference all the time. We can put Earl in a trunk and throw him in the river in the song and kill him off because we don't like him and we don't like what he stands for. You know what I mean? Bob Marley shot a sheriff, but he didn't kill the deputy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You couldn't do that in real life.
No.
And there's a kabillion others, and it's gotten crazier and crazier as the years have gone by. Look at the Eminem tracks.
Oh wow, yeah.
To his mom, and he's calling everybody out.
I love that album. Cleaning Out My Closet, that song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
me too, man. I tell you what, I love him, and a lot of people don't realize that style of music, was based out of the rap battles, getting on stage against somebody else and freestyling and digging at them.
That's so fun.
And it's a musical style. You know what I mean?
I love freestyling. I used to freestyle with some rappers when I moved to Louisville. When I was telling you how I wrote the weed song. Yeah.
We're gonna play that, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So tell me about the rappers that you worked with, because I love me some rappers.
Well, it was just a lot of people who loved rap music, and we would get together and it would inspire them to be like, hey, let's go record a song in my closet. They would have a little closet booth set up, and they would go and we would freestyle raps. And it was right when Chance the Rapper, if you're familiar with Chance the Rapper.
I am.
I'm not a big fan of his new stuff, which sucks, but he had this album called Acid Rap, and that came out, and everybody was a freestyle rapper at that point. Around me, they're like, we're all gonna write some avant-garde kind of rap things, and they would smoke weed in the closet, and we would all freestyle.
Smoke weed in the closet? Y'all were clam baking in the closet?
Yeah.
Why? Were you hiding from somebody? I'm just curious, because why would you be doing it in the closet?
It was for the sound thing.
Sound booth.
Yeah,
I get it.
But it was on a college campus, so that's probably maybe that made more sense. But yeah, and they had me freestyle one night, and it really went well. And the next day, I was like, "Hey guys, I wrote this song called the Weed Song," and I wrote it, and they're like, "What?"
My phone just froze up. It's not going to play it right now. We will get it on, I promise. Just keep talking.
Yeah, and so that's how I kind of wrote the Weed Song, just inspired by them all trying to write a rap about weed. And I was like, I'm going to write my little, acoustic version of this.
I love it.
And I would love to, once I get this version out, I want to have a rapper featured on like another version of it. Cause
I want to do a track with you, because that's kind of what I do on the Hillbilly Swagger. It's all me. I don't do vocals much.
Yeah.
I can do a little harmony underneath here and there. And Bev would always encourage me to do that, because she was like, "You've got a great voice. And it's deep and bassy, and you can come in underneath us and all this stuff."
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I was like, so she would always go, "Hey, I've got an idea for a song," and then she'd write a lyric and verse, and then she'd be like, "Here it is for you, write your verse," and then she would disappear, and she'd be like, "Do it," and I want to hear it when I get back. And so it would force me again. I was always forced to write.
I need someone to force me to write some music.
Yeah, well, let's listen to this Weed Song. I think it's going to be rocking.
All right.
And this is an acoustic version. The Weed Song.
And baby, that's all we need, 'cause we're smoking up a lot. Kiss me shy, 'cause I'm in love. Smoke rolling down my throat. On your couch is all she wrote. Looking good, smoking a lot. Where's the lighter? I forgot my lipstick is on your bowl. Puff, puff, pass that joint you roll. 'Cause I like your lips a lot. Kiss me shy, got all you got. 'Cause I like you, you got weed. And baby, that's all we need. 'Cause we're smoking up a lot. Kiss me shy, got all you got. 'Cause I like you, you got weed. And baby, that's all we need. 'Cause we're smoking up a lot. Kiss me shy, 'cause I'm in love. Hey, hey, Well, the first time we smoked, sexual tension was provoked. Your hands were on my hips, and lips and more lips. You played my favorite song and put those ice cubes in the bone. Well, I like your lips a lot. Kiss me shy, 'cause all you got is I like you. You got weed, and baby, that's all we need. 'Cause we're smoking up a lot. Kiss me shy, 'cause all you got is I like you. You got weed, and baby, that's all we need. Oh, we're smoking up a lot. Kiss me shy, 'cause I'm in love. Yeah. Hey, hey, yeah. Cause I like you, you got weed, and baby, that's all we need. 'Cause we're smoking up a lot. Kiss me shy, gun all you got. 'Cause I like you, you got weed, and baby, that's all we need. 'Cause we're smoking up a lot. Kiss me shy, gun I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love.
That's Smoking Weed by
The
Lauren
Weed
E.
Song, the Weed Song.
Your name rhymes with that too.
Well, it's actually I'd.
Oh, why do I keep thinking it's Eid?
Oh, everybody thinks that. It's fine. It's a weird last name.
Yeah, it's a weird. It is a strange one.
Spelled backwards.
It's what? Die spelled backwards?
Yes.
Oh, I love that. You're so funny.
I told some girl that the other day, so to help her look me up on YouTube, and then she texted me and she was like, "Hey, I looked you up and I can't find you." And I was like, "What did you type in?" And she was like, DYE.
Oh, like DYE. Like you're gonna go dye your clothes. That's really funny. I love that. We needed our laughter. Yeah.
Oh, that's like your lame laughter. Like,
yeah. Exactly. It's been all weird, quiet now.
That's awkward laughter at the comedy club when somebody bombs.
Yeah. When somebody bombs, I love that. No kidding. I was gonna ask you about the lyrics of that. The lyrics of that song are hilarious. I was sitting over here rolling.
Yeah, it's I like you. You got weed, and baby, that's all we need. We're smoking up a lot. Kiss me, shotgun. All you got.
And that's why I love art. You can say anything you want.
Yeah.
And I love that you're kind of like, your cojones are big enough to like, man, I'm going to put this in a song and sing it every day. Yeah. And I bet people love that.
I mean, that's how I really express myself. I'm kind of a reserved person. Yeah. And then my music kind of really shows what I'm like if you actually know me. Yeah. I kind of use that as my hey guys, this is actually me.
Yeah. Which is funny because I almost more play a character in my music than my normal everyday life. Mm-hmm. Because if you listen to any of my records, most of my raps are more diss tracks. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't know why. I probably, know, I might be ballsy enough to say it a little bit on a daily, but probably not as much as am in my music. In my music, you know how Beyonce says she is Sasha Fierce? Yes. That's her character. Yes. Mine's like Bitch Mitchell.
Bitch Mitchell.
Which Mitch Mitchell was the drummer of Jimi Hendrix. So somebody gave me that nickname a long time ago.
That is a really great band name too.
Bitch Mitchell.
I love
that. I know. Is that even a cuss word? We'll ding it.
Bitch. Yes.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know. Is it? I don't know.
Like it.
I take it as a complimentary.
Yeah.
Terms.
Sometimes, yeah.
If people call me that, I'm like, awesome, dude. Rockin', I must be doing something right.
I mean, if some random guy calls me that, that's a no. Yeah. That's a no for me. Play Freebird, bitch. I'm like,
yeah. It depends on the context, yeah. But that's where the flip off comes in, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's what's great in our job. You know, we can just be like, "Hey, fuck you."
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Ding, 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 ding. I love it.
And I don't get fired.
Exactly. You can't get fired here. And look, wah, 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 wah. I love it. Yeah, you can't get fired on radio. I mean, you can, but you're not going to get fired here. Trust me on that. Yeah. So, Lauren, let's talk a little bit more about your music stuff, right?
Let's do it.
You're going to be on tour. I'm going to call it on tour because you are going to be out and about outside of Louisville, which is really cool.
I'm playing in Charleston, then I'm playing in Memphis. I have 3 shows in Memphis.
Memphis? We're at Memphis.
September, I am playing at the Blues Hall in
Memphis.
Yeah.
I love that. How'd you land that one? That's a nice gig to have.
Yeah, my uncle actually lives in Memphis. And
very cool.
He's kind of a socialite there. He used to be a cage fighter, and he owns a health store down there. So I was like, hey, you got some friends?
A cage fighter? Yeah, let's not mess with him.
Yeah, don't mess with him. Yeah, that's why I got the gigs. He's like, hey, you're going to let this girl play.
I know. I was going to say, you know what, though? I went to Memphis not too long ago. In fact, this year, actually. And I went down and I had already seen Graceland, but I just kind of drove by and
like checked.
Graceland. Well, yeah, you gotta love Graceland. Yeah. They got the little Lisa Marie sitting out front, and it's just
the
really
only
cool.
Beautiful thing in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I agree. It's all like run down and it's pretty sad. But anyway, after that, I went over to Sun Records and did the tour at Sun Records and got to stand where Elvis stood and see the piano that Jerry Lee Lewis had played on.
Definitely a huge Elvis fan.
Yeah, me too. I mean, how can you not be?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, Elvis is classic, man. And he's historic. Very historic. I love me some Elvis. He's the, helped start rock and roll, although a lot of people were doing it before him. Yeah. He got notarized a lot.
Chuck Berry.
Yeah, Chuck Berry, Big Mama Thornton.
Yeah.
Little Richard. Yeah, Sam and Dave. All that kind of Little like Richard bebop soul. All that stuff kind of folded all into it. Yeah.
Didn't he take a lot of his? Is Little Richard the one that he took a lot of his dance moves? Inspired them from?
Oh, I don't know.
That's what.
But I don't know. But Little Richard's the piano player that's all like really femme.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah.
I love a guy who's in touch with their feminine side.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say Adam Levine, but every girl drools over him, and I'm like, bro, he's a butterfly tattoo.
Who is this?
Adam Levine.
Oh, Adam Levine.
Yeah, he looked. I mean, remember the shirtless Super Bowl thing?
Yeah.
I
forget,
intense.
like, all those Super Bowls run together. The ones that really stand out in my mind are is Prince.
Janet Jackson's titty.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I was working in TV and radio when that happened, and we all could like get fined after that if we didn't hit a blackout or like a drop button.
I bet.
It was crazy.
What would happen if somebody saw a tit?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh darn. You know what I always say? You're gonna love this. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
I'm gonna give my own laughter right before I even tell the joke. I always say, how big does the areola have to be before you start to get fined? Because I've seen dudes with bigger boobs than mine. Just saying.
Oh, same.
So I'm like, it's not fair, and it pisses me off to no end that I can't walk around without my shirt on. You need to control your stuff.
It's
is
very
what
nice.
I say. Yeah,
it's so comfortable.
I agree. I love. Who doesn't love I almost didn't want.
No, we love it. We love it.
We love it. I know. Where's my yay? I don't know. Wait, there we go.
Well,
yeah,
that's more positive. Yeah.
Yeah, more positive. A rim shot's way more positive. Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
But no, it is frustrating because it should be equal in my standard. And I don't
100%.
understand why we have to cover our stuff. You quit looking if you don't want to see it. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it's like I don't want my tits out all the time, but maybe just one day I do.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, could you imagine how much nicer it is to like mow a yard like that,
for
or like
sure.
or do whatever, just
No
kind
tan
of
lines.
right. No tan lines. That's exactly right. Yeah,
It'd be
who
better
wants
for
tan
everybody.
lines?
That's fine.
Where has this conversation gone?
I know. I was talking about Memphis.
I know my head. So Memphis. Yes, back to Memphis. The Sun tour, man. It was so cool, and to get to play Memphis is a big deal. But I was going to go back to the wrestling thing. You made some sort of wrestling reference. Yeah, Jerry King Lawler's place is right there on Bourbon Street. Wait, is it not Bourbon Street? Bill Street. Sorry,
Beale Street. Yeah,
getting my cities mixed up.
Oh, great city though.
Oh, I know. Have you ever been to Bourbon Street?
Yes.
Have you ever played there?
I've sang there. I haven't played.
I love that.
I just got up with a band.
No kidding.
Real sober, super sober.
Oh wow.
I was fucking wasted.
Wait. Were you really? I love it.
I don't even know what song I sang, but apparently I did well. I was like, yay!
I have a very similar story to that.
No way.
Yeah. The first night I'm on Bourbon Street. First off, I have to say this because I hope he's listening. Who knows if he's not? But the first night I get there, and it was my first time ever in New Orleans, right?
Yeah, first
and my girlfriend at the time was like, "I bet you're gonna know somebody when we get here." We stopped like in like Alabama at some random truck stop, and I knew somebody in the bathroom.
In the bathroom
In Alabama, and she was like, "You know somebody everywhere. Like how
in a bathroom in Alabama?"
Yeah, right, exactly. And that's happened more than once, which was kind of crazy.
Wow.
So then she was like, "You're gonna know somebody on Bourbon Street," and I said, "I've never even been to New Orleans. There's no way I'm gonna know anybody here." So we get out on the Strip for the first time, and I look across the street, and there stands Denny Humphrey, who now runs Jimmy Can't Dance, who used to run the Monkey Wrench, which I played at a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, she was like, "I told you," and it was his 40th birthday.
No way.
And sorry, Denny, for calling your age out on air. I don't think he'd care.
That's a great age.
It is a great age. I'm 40 as well. Yeah.
Killing it.
So, yeah, totally killing it. So, anyway, we ended up partying. And this is back when I was drinking really heavy. I don't drink much anymore.
Yeah.
This was like 5 hurricanes and 6 grenades in, and and everything else in between. And not only that, but it was Fleet Week and Pirate Week there. So everybody was in peg legs and eye patches, looking straight up like Captain Sparrow or Jack Sparrow. And then there was all these Navy officers there, too, in their little white costume outfits, So anyway,
Pirates and Navy men.
yeah, it was weird.
Wow.
So I walked down the Strip, and some guy, I'm talking to him, and he's the lead singer of the band at Turtle Bay that night.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, you're a drummer." He's like, "You should come back through and play a song with us." And I was like, "Right on," whatever. Well, I totally forget about him and go party. Hours later, I'm talking like 1 a.m.
New Orleans
this
hours
was
are
like 2
different than
p.m.
other hours.
Right. This was like, midnight or something.
Yep.
And the next thing happens, I walk back up, and he's outside again, and he goes, "Hey, you're that drummer." And I'd already, and I'm like, "Oh yeah." And he was like, "Do you know any Guns N' Roses?" And I was like, "Which album?" I grew up playing everything Guns N' Roses.
Oh, that's
so
good,
which
then.
song you want to play? And he was like, "Paradise City," and I was like, "Yeah, I know Paradise City." So I got up there, and I'm staring at the Pirates and Navy officers. And anyway, I killed it because I watched
good.
video back.
Yeah.
But I remember my snare drum moving in a circle, like from 12 o'clock all the way around, just moving. And I had to constantly like focus on where I was hitting it.
Oh, gosh.
Because I was that
Glad
wasted.
you got through it.
Gosh, I hate
I've never
the
had a
feeling
gig
of
where I
that
was too
now.
wasted to not finish a song, but I definitely have just like messed up the words completely.
Just made your own versions.
For sure. I'm like, I just created this word yesterday, guys. Like, this is not even a real word. It just sounds like the word that was supposed to be there. I'm like, I know it sounds something like this.
You're lucky because it used to back in the day. We couldn't Google lyrics to know what they were actually saying.
Yeah. My mom had giant songbooks she typed out or, wrote out and put them in it. Yeah.
In fact, one of my favorite things is when CDs finally came out, they actually had lyrics, a lot of them on the inserts, so you could actually look at the lyrics. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure they probably did that on vinyl too, but I don't recall
That's
any
a good
vinyl.
point. I never really thought of that.
Yeah, but I love lyric charts because I always like to read the lyrics. When you read them, they're totally different than when you're singing
You're
them.
like, oh, I've been singing the wrong words the whole time.
In fact, we should do that on the show because I used to do that.
Fun.
I used to do that a long time ago. Basically, I give you a song. All right, and then you look up the lyrics, and you're just gonna read them instead of singing them.
Yeah,
because it's a whole different context, and it gives you a whole different meaning. Yes, exactly. The first one I did was like an Outkast, Roses.
Oh, that one's perfect.
I know. If you read the lyrics to Roses, you're like, "Are you? This is a song? Roses really smell like poo, 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 ooh." Ooh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when we sing it, we love it.
Yeah,
roses really smell like Yeah, you know what I'm saying though. Yeah. So we should do a segment on the show like that. I think that'd be hilarious. Yeah.
I love playing games.
Me too. So let's remind everybody you're at Buckhead's tonight.
Buckhead 6 to 9. It's a great show, and the weather's gonna be perfect. Right on the river.
It's pretty gorgeous out right now.
I know. I'm excited about playing tonight.
Go to the park or something. I don't know.
I know.
I love Frisbee. I'm a big Frisbee fan.
You're a Frisbee fan?
I am.
I dated a guy who was a Frisbee fan.
You did?
On a Frisbee team.
Really?
And I went on spring break with him and his Frisbee team, and it was honestly one of the most boring spring breaks ever in the world.
Oh, poor guy.
Poor guy. No, he was great, but his friends were just like, let's play Frisbee. And I was like, oh, shit, I guess
sometimes I feel
sense.
sorry for guys. I mean, especially when they don't, like, if you're on the bowling team and that's all you got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no offense, but
I can get
poor
drunk
guy.
and bowl, though. I can get drunk and eat a hot dog and go bowling. That's great. But they're real serious about it.
Right. But, I mean, if you're like, one of those geeks that's like, oh, my gosh, that's what I got to do every Monday night kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
That'd be hard to deal with.
Right. I know. It is sometimes.
So we don't want to date bowlers. Sorry, guys.
You're hilarious. Oh, I love it. Wait,
Just
where's
kidding.
my laughter at? I got to get a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you record them yourself or you just download them?
No, I've got, a little bit of both. I've actually got a mixture.
I just want you to like walk around with a little microphone and just like record people's like, hey.
I know. I want my
wiggity
wiggity whack. That's one of my favorite things ever.
Wiggity whack?
Yeah, I always would I would sit around and do these little like voice things all the time when I was a kid. And so I still do them as an adult, and then and then now I can like use them on my show. Let's see if I can find one here.
I love it.
Wiggity whack. You see what I'm saying?
I love that.
Whack. Yeah. Hey, who doesn't?
That's
I mean,
my
I could do it.
favorite.
See what I'm saying?
Wiggity
I even
whack.
put it in the intro. It's kind of funny.
I'm gonna make a beat out of that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna freestyle to
whack. It's actually an original song that I did with Bev. It's called Hillbilly Swagger Back from the Dead, which was weird because she had just passed right after we wrote it. And I'd say I spell out hillbilly.
Yeah.
H to the I to the L, B to the I to the L, sing it. And then she would do the swagger and sing it real pretty with like magical things going on.
Really cool. That's
Isn't
cool
it?
word placement. Yeah.
Yeah, I like a good word spell in songs.
It's fun.
B-A-N-A-N.
It helps people with spelling
exactly.
Too. You're helping the world.
Yeah, J to the E to the S-U-S.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've got a song coming out called, and me and Bev did this one too. It's called Jesus Might Forgive Me, but the South Never Will.
Wow.
And it's about being gay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I know, right?
That's so badass.
I know, right? Yeah. And I like creativity. I love the creative artists like you, you know?
Thank you.
And we were talking about inspiration earlier.
Yeah.
And you've just got to pull from what's going on in your daily life. So
yeah.
At the time that I was doing Bougie, the video, which is a video that it was one of my last solo record singles that I put out. I had written this song about this girl who basically would get drunk and get in a loop and try to convince me that she was not bougie. That it was her loop. You know how drunk people get in a loop and they say it's so annoying. And they just say the same things over and over and over and over
and
again.
I'm like, yeah, I heard that before.
Yeah.
Heard that last time.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, I'm taking you twice a week to get your nails done. You're getting extensions once a week. You're getting your lashes done. I'm spending $200 on meals. You kind of are bougie.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the definition. Yeah.
So I wrote the song about, it was a diss track saying, no, girl, you are bougie. And then I ended up I put on a wedding dress and made a video, and I played my own bougie female in the video. But I also feature a Derby City sister drag queen in it.
That sounds great.
Who looks way better than I do. And by the way, you'll love this.
Right? They're beautiful.
A couple of days ago, somebody said to me, "Is that you in a mustache?" It was the drag queen.
No.
And then somebody also asked me, "Who's the girl in the video?" Well, it's me, but I'm super thin. They didn't realize it was me. So it's funny how they thought I was the male character, but I was, because Ryan Phillips did that with us, and he also was pretty monumental in that whole. They just had that argument with the libraries and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into politics, but, silly.
Yeah.
If clowns can hang out with children, I mean, and that's acceptable for them to go to Ronald McDonald.
Stupid
quote. Yeah, no, yeah. So anyway, right? No, but so anyway, he was hilarious, and we let him leave his mustache on because I thought it'd be funny to dress him up as a woman.
I love that.
And he has a full big mustache, beardy thing.
I
right?
always love that look on a drag queen.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
It looks so cool.
Because you're like,
Yep,
and I've always loved Dolly Parton. Not that she's a drag queen, but they kind of take their style from her a little bit.
I just got back from Dollywood.
You did?
Yes,
I've never been. Dollywood?
Oh my God, it was amazing. My boyfriend Kevin, he lived literally 30 minutes from there, so he used to go there all the time as a kid.
Oh yeah.
So he was just.
Did he play there? Because a lot of musicians go down there to play.
He actually sang there, but in like a religious choir.
Cool.
When he was younger.
That. Yeah.
And he went there. Every week, and he was so excited to walk in there. He just looked like a kid at a candy store, which eventually he was, and it was amazing. It was just great, wholesome fun, and I rode crazy roller coasters.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you if you rode the roller coaster that goes inside that barn and then drops down.
No, I couldn't. I was too
What's
scared.
the name of that one?
It's called Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, maybe.
Not Lazy Salads.
Lazy Salads. The edamame is tired.
I can't remember. Oh, it's the Haunted Mine.
Oh yes, the Haunted Mine. Yes,
yeah,
that's one of my all-time favorites. Did you see how excited I just got?
Wow, you like really scary roller coasters?
No, I love roller coasters. They scare the crap out of me, but I love that feeling. I love them
too, but sometimes I get sick.
Well, I suffer from an anxiety disorder.
Oh no!
So I don't like my anxiety to skyrocket. Exactly. But once you go down, so once you get to the top. Right? Once it starts to drop, I'm good. It's just going to the top. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Most of them, because most of them start with a big, a big drop.
You're not into the suspense movies. You just want the.
Well, I like suspense movies, although I don't watch a lot of television. But
really?
But the roller coasters, I don't know. That mine one is awesome because you don't know it, and then they just drop you. Really far down, underground.
Oh my gosh,
it's all dark.
I got a picture of me getting
dropped.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, those cheesy pictures that come out at the end where they're like,
I would never buy one, but my face looks so bad. I needed to remember it forever.
Okay.
I posted it on my Facebook.
Oh, you did?
I
don't have to go.
It's horrible. I was like, my face
I love your social
bad.
media. I follow you. Yeah.
You can follow my Snapchat. I was saying, I was taking a Snapchat a minute ago.
Yeah, go ahead and Snapchat.
Yeah.
So anyway, Lauren, it's been awesome having you in today. You've got some really cool stuff coming up. I love that. And you and Kevin do that acoustic thing right now. Or is there any perspective, or is there anything that you think that maybe in the future you might be looking at, like adding a full band or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I have a whole bunch of great players that are my friends, which is great, and they've been working with me on my music for these past 3 years, been playing with me at gigs. Kevin plays with me, and he's so great, and I'm so lucky to have so many friends that are so talented. So once I get this music out, the Weed Song single. I'm gonna have a release party.
By the way, I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we will totally. When you get it released, you come back here and we'll play it.
Yeah, you got to come to my release party. I should be having it. I think I'm going to be having it in the winter. I'm not sure when.
Yeah,
but I'm excited about it, and I'm gonna have a whole band backing me, and
cool.
It's gonna be. I really want to do it on 420, honestly.
Oh yeah, that's a special day for me. I lost my psychic medium, who was a great friend of mine. Also, told me everything in my life was going to come true, and I've dropped 2 records on 420 before in the past.
No way.
Mm-hmm, sure have.
It's a good date.
It is a good date. It actually historically is a horrible date if you look at what all has happened on that date, but I think we can change that. That's why I just keep putting positive things out.
Every 420.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, I'm going to do a release party, and my boyfriend Kevin has some great original music that's coming out too, and you have to get him in here, and we could
I would love
jam.
That. Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
If I'd have known ahead of time, I love to surprise people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I would have had him like surprise you and
that'd
show
be great.
up unannounced.
He loves surprising me.
Yeah, I love that. What girl doesn't love to be surprised?
Oh my gosh, I know.
You know, as long as my anxiety ain't through the roof, we're okay.
Exactly.
Don't surprise me bad.
Yeah. You want to have a good night with me.
Yeah, exactly. I want to remind everybody that LRS, we're going to be broadcasting live from the Kentucky Fair and Expo Center tomorrow. That's for the annual Street Rod National, 6 a.m. with Skinny J's New Rock Morning Show, and continuing all day with Midday McGill, Jyneration Nation, What Up, and the Hippie Head Spotlight. You can come out and check out the cool custom cars. Stop by the LRS 102 booth, and here's what you got to do. When you stop by the booth, you say, I am the Walrus, and we will give you free LRS Fest tickets while they last. That sounds so much fun. Have you ever been to a car show?
Yes.
Like a street rod
accidentally.
National?
I just was walking by. I was like, whoa, a car show.
Yeah.
It was great. There was like a whole bunch of, it was like kind of like just bikini girls walking everywhere, like posing on cars. So it was a really great one for me to stumble upon.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, yeah.
I was like,
sounds like the best to stumble upon. Yeah.
Neon lights, and it was in Florida. It was great.
That is fantastic. Did you know that I just got a 73 Volkswagen camper bus?
No way.
Oh, yeah. It's the original hippie van. It's the last series of the air-cooled engines of the V-dubs.
That's every hippie at heart's dream.
Yeah. I actually put it in the Pride Parade, and we made it to CNN, and my friends in Miami were calling
this year's Pride Parade?
Yeah, this year's.
We said I was so sad.
History with that one. It was the biggest ever for the state of Kentucky. Yeah.
I went to Pride Festival, but I just missed the parade.
Yeah, the parade's awesome. They just did a reroute of the parade from the previous years, the past couple years, and now it goes.
Nulu now?
Yeah, now it goes through Nulu.
Yeah,
and then cuts down.
Did you like it better?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved Nulu better
because it was on Bardstown Road before, though.
No,
Right?
not Bardstown Road. No, they actually did it all the way up Main Street to the Belvedere.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
It used to start around Triangles, and then cut down. Here I am at Louisvillian, cut down the old, the old Connections, which is around Stevie Ray's area.
I had some
there.
Great moments at Connections.
Me too. I miss that place. It's so weird driving by now and just seeing.
Best dance floor in the city.
Oh, it was at the time.
100%.
Best dance floor in the city. I agree with you on that. I used to go dancing like 2-3 nights a week there.
Oh, it was the best.
Yeah. Dancing is my favorite form of exercise.
Me too. I don't do it enough. I need to.
I know. Dancing makes people happy, and I really love to dance. I love to cut up and be silly and, throw it down and do dance moves and
What's
kicks.
your favorite dance bar that you would go to now?
Oh, that's a great question. I actually really love the dance floor at Barbarella's, but I don't really necessarily like the scene of Barbarella's.
Same.
It's just not my
We need
scene.
more dance music, but because I'll have like a old or like a vintage music night or something.
But I go to Play, probably.
Oh, yeah, Play.
Play is pretty good.
I go there for Pride every year. Yeah. It's my favorite.
Yeah, me too. I actually got to meet Boy George. There, I met Carson Creasley.
Boy George?
Yeah, he DJ'd there for one derby years ago.
I would freak out.
I think it was like the first year they were open. Yeah, I was there, man. Yeah, I was there. Didn't miss anything like that back in those days, especially not Boy George.
Yeah.
Yeah, who I always say I take my creative influence from him a lot of times,
cool.
and I loved his look back in the day.
Yeah, I really appreciate his look and how ballsy he was.
Yeah, me too.
Back then.
And he was really ballsy back then because that was not really accepted then. Although, again, it's art.
Do it through the music.
Yeah, you can be who you want to be.
I have one song that I wrote it and I wasn't sure. Like I played it just for Kevin. I was like, I don't think I can play this out. It was so brutal. I hated somebody so much that I wrote this song called Jump. And every time I play it, I feel like I have to apologize to the crowd. But every time I'm surprised, they're like, I understand the hate that you felt. But yeah, it's called Jump, and the words. I wish I could play it for you. I'll have to play it here sometime.
Yeah, you will. Well, Lauren, it's been awesome having you on the show today.
I've had so much fun.
Yeah,
Thanks for
is there
having me.
anything that you want the listeners to know before we have to log off air?
I'm going to have the Weed song coming out soon. Add me on Facebook. My name's just Lauren, EID. And I post all my shows on there and everywhere I play and where I'm going to be at. And you can listen to my music. So check me out, guys.
Yeah, check her out. And you've got all kinds of cool gigs. You can also check out Lauren tonight at Buckhead's.
Yes.
On the Jeffersonville, Indiana side.
6 to 9.
6 to 9. Lauren, it's been a pleasure hosting you. It flies by, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it feels like we just got started.
It was a great time. Thanks for having me again.
Absolutely. And, I'm a big fan. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep rocking out as always. And we'll also get that new track played as soon as you get it finished. And I would love to come to your CD release party.
Please do.
And keep me informed of any gigs, of course, coming up.
Thank you.
It's Jyneration Nation. Tune in tomorrow as we broadcast live from the annual Street Rod Nationals at the Kentucky Expo Center. Check in back tomorrow, and as always, stay groovy. I'm leaving you with The Police on LRS102.com.